Kingdom Hearts as a franchise has been going on for over 20 years and counting. And naturally, throughout so many games, over the course of so many years, we have been introduced to so many characters, who, just like the series, is still growing in number. And practically every single character we have been introduced to has some sort of deep-seated trauma in some way, shape, or form. From Riku battling the darkness inside him and having to deal with the consequences of his negligence in Kingdom Hearts 1, to the entirety of the Seesaw Trio and Wayfinder Trio respectfully having had their lives uprooted and their friends ripped from them within only a moment's notice. Even Kairi with her past memories of Radiant Garden, which is still somewhat vague, but we see her sealed within one of the pods in Xehanort when he was a researcher standing in front of her. Add these two things together and boom.
Emotional damage!
However, when it comes to the main cast of characters, there is one who hasn't really had anything explored in terms of straight up trauma, at least not to the degree of the others. In fact, we've actually spent the most time with this person out of everyone, and that person is of course none other than the champion of light himself, Sora. What it do, cool crew, and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to look at a very important conversation that very well may set up exactly how this story is explored leading into Kingdom Hearts 4, and that is Sora, our fun, loving, dull, ordinary boy, truly happy? Throughout the course of Kingdom Hearts, Sora has always been a beacon of light to guide all through the darkness ever since he began wielding Baby's first Keyblade, always remaining positive, no matter the circumstance that he finds himself in. This man will quite literally see darkness oozing out of the door to darkness and still say with his whole chest that he believes it is light. This mentality is even passed along onto the friends he encounters along the way. As we see in Dream Drop Distance, we hear Roxas even say to Sora that that's the reason he is the chosen one.
This could have been the other way around. Huh? But it really has to be you.
What do you mean?
There are so many hearts that are connected to yours. You're me, so you can feel what I felt.
No. Roxas, you're you. We're not the same. I wanted to tell you that you deserve as much as I do to be your own person.
Sora, see? That's why it has to be you.
Of course, Roxas is saying this because again, we see Sora, who has no ties to Roxas on a personal level, still wish to save him and give him the life that he believes he deserves. Even knowing that Roxas does not walk the line on the side of light, he doesn't even consider that when he doesn't hesitate to tell Roxas, a nobody, someone who was a part of the organization that continuously has had it out for Sora and his friends, that he deserves to be his own person just as much as anybody else. Again, further down the road, more recently in Kingdom Hearts 3, we see Sora quite literally sympathizing with his enemies who only moments ago were trying to end him. Marluxia, Larxene, Luxord, Vanitas. Sora only sees the good even when it's not even there. Again, being a beacon of hope that all of our characters can rely on in their times of need. But has anyone actually stopped to consider the unsurmountable load of pressure that comes from this? Just look at the Guardians of Light. That's 7 people at least that Sora has relying on him from the very beginning of the series up and throughout the Keyblade War. Again, this is at least. We're not even including the likes of Roxas, Xion, Naminé, or I don't know, all of the worlds and their inhabitants as well. From the moment Sora set on his journey up to the present, he's always had to be the one to fix everything, all while maintaining a smile on his face. But after so many adventures, I believe that Sora is actually beginning to crack. In fact, there are numerous instances throughout Kingdom Hearts 3 where we see the mask that Sora has been holding up finally begin to slip. And the catalyst that set this in motion is what I believe to be when Sora failed the Mark of Mastery exam, which, by the the way, again, Sora was happy in cheering his friend on for passing. Drastically different reaction than someone else we know. Sorry, I feel like at this point there's no stopping Terra from catching a stray in one of my videos. Getting back to Sora though, the first instance of Sora revealing his true feelings come from the epilogue of 0.2, which, mind you, is technically the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 3 as well. Master Yen Sid summons Sora to the mysterious tower when he begins to berate him relentlessly with the fact that he failed. Not only that, but that he lost almost all of his power in the process as well, saying to Sora that I believe you are very well aware of this fact. And when telling him this, we see Sora stare down in silence, signaling with his body language that he was indeed very well aware. However, instead of letting his friends worry about him, he immediately brushes it off with a joke, as if it wasn't affecting him at all, when it quite obviously was.
However, the darkness nearly took control of you, and your grasp of your new abilities leaves much to be desired. Furthermore, Xehanort nearly made you his vessel, and in the process stripped you of most of the power you had gained by then. I suspect you have already noticed this, correct?
Sora!
Whatever. Happens all the time.
Immediately after this, we see even Pete himself recognize that Sora has become weaker, and again Sora plays it off as if it's not bothering him. Being the beacon that is the key to connect everyone together, he continuously tells himself not to falter. That, as he said himself, he can take it. Now, Sora's strength isn't the only thing that has been weighing heavy on his mind. Further on down the road in the Kingdom of Corona, we see that he actually has a whole lot more going on under the surface that he's been keeping bottled up for the sake of all of his friends. As we see him say,
The outside world must seem so big and scary. I know how she feels. Lucky for me, you two came along at just the right time. And the rest has been unforgettable. Yep, unforgettable. Just like your face. All for one, and one for all.
Again, passing it off as a joke, the mask is back up. And throughout the rest of Kingdom Hearts 3, Sora is continuously being barraged by every antagonist in every world that he visits, continuously hammering away at his mental when he already is dealing with the struggle of being too weak to do anything as is. We even see in the Caribbean when Tia Dalma offers Sora the power of all the sea if he sets her free, that he is actually enticed by the offer. Again, playing it off when Donald and Goofy ask him what's going on.
Use that key to free me, Sora, and you have my most certain promise. All the power under sea you ever wish for be yours.
Free her how?
What's wrong?
Huh? Oh, nothing really. I'm good.
Feeling completely useless while the other Guardians remain lost and the darkness is ever growing stronger. All while everybody and their mother is trusting on him to pull through and reconnect these hearts that, mind you, he didn't even have anything to do with. He didn't ask for any of this. He was only a kid when his whole world and friends were torn from him. And all of a sudden now he is the Keyblade's chosen one. All while his only goal to find his friends and get back to his island grows ever distant as he defeats Ansem and they are all separated again just as soon as he claims them. It's like, yeah, we know you went through all of this on a whim and your best friend tried to take your life on multiple occasions, on top of having to sacrifice yourself to bring your other friend back, on top of having to defeat this random being who took control of said friend that became controlled by darkness, and your reward at the end of it all is quite literally nothing. Nope. No happy ending for you. But again, he trucks on being the same old cheery Sora as he always is. Even in Kingdom Hearts 2, when he does get the happy ending he so rightfully deserves, almost immediately he is summoned by the king and told that, oh yeah, by the way, I know you finally got your friends back and returned to your islands, but there are other Keyblade wielders that you don't even know exist that you have to now save. Of course, Sora tells Riku when he asks if his mind is made up that he has to go, because they are who made him who he is. But let's be real here. Did he really have a choice? I mean, he even says himself that he has to go. Fast forward to Dream Drop Distance next, where not only his exam is hijacked from the jump by Xehanort, but he also runs into more people who have suffered from being connected to him. In this instance, Roxas shares all of his feelings and emotions, which, mind you, is all of Kingdom Hearts 358 in 2 days, and then some in an instant with Sora. I don't know about you all, but that game broke me personally, and I consumed it all over the course of multiple days, let alone within 10 seconds. Which leads us all the way back to Kingdom Hearts 3, where Sora again has had his power stripped and darkness is knocking on his doorstep. And again, it is up to him to save the day. Again, all of this added on to the constant belittling and uselessness that Sora felt through the entirety of KH3. The final nail in the coffin being when his friends are wiped out right before his eyes. And it is in this moment that we see the mask that Sora has been wearing so resiliently throughout the story finally break, and he lets his true feelings out.
Sora! They're gone. Kairi, Donald, Goofy, the king. Gone forever. What do we do? Without them, all my strength came from them. They gave me all of it. Alone? I'm worthless.
Imagine just how long he's been holding on to this. Even in Dream Drop Distance, Xigbar throws this back in his face to try to break his spirits. Because of course, who wouldn't it have? Back then, when we saw this scene, we were all hyping Sora up without a second thought of just how much strength it took for him to accept that. Even Xigbar, aka Lushu, was taken aback by this. Because of course, this is something that would make the likes of even the foretellers hesitate. And then when said people, again, the whole reason that Sora hasn't been able to live a happy life back on his islands are taken away from him, the whole reason that we were going through this in the first place, we finally see him break. And when this happens, everyone, including myself, saw Sora and were taken aback. Of course, because we were never used to seeing Sora lose his cool like this. But again, who wouldn't? The fact that he lasted this long is an incredible feat in and of itself. Any one of these characters would have cracked under the pressure that Sora had been put through since the beginning, which again was when he was just a kid, constantly putting others before himself even if it meant his own demise. Who knows? Sora could have been entirely right when saying who knows what would have happened if Donald and Goofy hadn't showed up, which by the way, these two have been by his side through thick and thin since the jump, supporting him even when his own friends did not. Without them there, would he have even made it past the events of Kingdom Hearts 1. As we see, Donald and Goofy are the ones that cheer him up and encourage him to go on with his journey in the first place. I don't know, this was a topic I just wanted to bring up since we're headed into the new saga where yet again, every one of the characters he was tasked with the responsibility of saving, again, some he didn't even know at all get their happy ending while again, we must truck on. I wonder just how much of these emotions we'll be exploring in Kingdom Hearts 4 and beyond. Honestly, I would love to see more of this side of Sora come out more often, but that's just me. Anyways, that's gonna do it for this video, everyone. I know this isn't a typical theory, but I find this conversation to be so fascinating. We've explored the mental impact of events with other characters like Roxas or even Aqua with her being trapped in the realm of darkness. I'm not saying Sora should stop being who he is. That's what makes him Sora. I'm just saying my boy deserves all the hugs in the world that he can get. And so help me, if I find out that the Master is manipulating him through the use of Strelitzia, I'm going to quadratum my damn self in throwing hands. But again, until I get my jaw rocked by the Master of Masters, it's been Vel, and I hope you all have a fantastic day. Later.